Tony D and Little Joan, and this is a screenwriter's rant on three different movies. One's called four different movies: Dark Asset, The Re-Education of Molly Singer, and Freelance. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 12, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Okay, so let's go through them all, the four movies, and we'll rank them. First up is T.I.M, sci-fi movie, pretty much by the numbers. It is about an artificial human that this couple buys named T.I.M, and the anagram stands for, I forget what it stands for, but he moves in with them, and instantly they're a little put off by him, but he seems to be okay. And one of the first scenes they show you in the trailer is they give him a 4-word phrase that will shut him down instantly if you say it, which I'm sure comes up in the movie. Anyhow, what happens is the robot becomes infatuated with the woman and not the man. And so he basically falls in love with her and wants to be loved, and uses his computer ability to cut out the man and break them up so he could have Abby all to himself. But he's a robot and he's crazy, and eventually he tries to kill everybody. So pretty standard stuff. It's a love triangle kind of movie mixed with sci-fi. You knew something was going to happen to the robot. There he is. So first act. Let's see who wrote this thing. Written by Sarah Govett and Spencer Brown. Directed by Spencer Brown. This seems to be an English movie. So, first act, the couple buys T.I.M, and they tell them all the things that they've created, an AI that'll do all this stuff. He'll never have to lift a finger again. He'll do all the work, and it'll all be great. And so at first he's great, but a little creepy. They have all this free time, but T.I.M is wandering around their house in the dark, thinking about things, because I guess he's an AI. Second act, by the beginning of the second act, you realize he's got a thing for the girl. So he starts slowly pushing them apart. He creates fake videos, and sows mistrust between them. Eventually, I think the woman kicks the man out of the house. He tries to kill the man by sabotaging his car. He survives, and then he's got to save his wife from the evil robot. So then the evil robot turns on her. Either he probably incapacitates the man and then tries to kill her. And then the third act is her fighting T.I.M. They call him T.I.M. Oh, here's a write-up. T.I.M follows Abby, a robotics engineer, as she moves to the countryside to work for a tech firm that's developing an AI manservant. T.I.M, M standing for manservant. She is hoping the new job will be a fresh start, allowing her to rebuild her relationship with her husband Paul following his affair, and start a family. As a perk of the job, Abby is given her own prototype T.I.M, which she's thrilled. After all, they're meant to change your life. However, T.I.M quickly becomes obsessed with her. He will do anything he can to take Paul's place, using his access to their data to manipulate her into thinking he's straying again. What hope does trust have against an intelligence that can deepfake your voice, access your bank account, and control the locks on your smart home, and take control of your driverless car? That's true. As T.I.M's obsession deepens, it's not just about Abby's and Paul's relationship that's the danger. It's their lives. T.I.M delves into our fear of AI, tech companies racing ahead, wanting to be the first to market when they even admit they don't know exactly what they're unleashing on the world, whether it will destroy us. As Jeffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, recently said in an interview, imagine a household robot where you could tell it what to do and it can do things. That household robot will be a lot smarter than you. Are you confident it would keep doing what you told it to do? Yeah, that could be a real problem. I mean, you could just erase its memory every day, but then again, that would sort of lower its expectations, and in a way you'd be killing it. So it might not like that either. I don't know. Next up, Dark Asset, another by the numbers thing. This one reminds me a lot of Universal Soldier. So they put this computer chip. Robert Patrick's the scientist. They put this computer chip in a dude's brain, and he is able to do superpowered things. And then I guess he escapes, and they're trying to kill him, and then they unleash a bunch of prototypes against him, and he has to kill those. And then Robert Patrick has probably an even better one in mind, and I don't know. In the end, I guess they win. It seems like a very B-movie, written and directed by Michael Winnick. I would say first act, I don't know, is this a sequel? It feels like a sequel almost. But first act, they give this guy the chip for some reason. Second act, he escapes almost immediately with the chip. Third act, second act, they spend hunting him down, and then the third act, he comes back to kill Robert Patrick, I guess. I don't know. It's not thrilling me, this trailer. I mean, the moves look good, the stunt looks good, but I'm not sure about the story. Then there's the re-education of Molly Singer. This is basically the Jennifer Lawrence movie, where she's hired by her boss, Jamie Presley, still looking hot, to help. She's a young girl who works at a law firm, and she has to help her son in college because he's a loser. So she's just fresh out of college. She grabs her college buddy, and they go back to college and try to make him cool. And they do all sorts of crazy, cool things. Nick Santos is in it. Is that the guy from Spider-Man, or I'm confusing him with the other guy? Right? Nah, it's not him. But it looks fine. It's a fratty movie where they do all sorts of fratty things. Oh crap! Sorry, hit the wrong button there. What the hell? What the hell, man? Got the wrong channel on and everything. I guess I got to just do this. Okay, there we go. Looks fine. Typical frat house movie. First act, she's a screw up. Screws up her job. She's about to be fired. Second act, her boss gives her this ridiculous assignment: make my son cool. So she recruits her friend. They go back to college because her boss is rich, and they make him cool. But they go too far. Then she complains about it because they make him a drunk and they make him a party animal. And then he probably finds out about it. And then the third act, it all comes together and they all party. They end up in a strip club, I think, at the end. It looks fun. Looks like an 80s movie. I'm not too big on the title, The Re-Education of Molly Singer. It's a bit clunky. And then finally is Freelance with John Cena and Alison Brie. I do not like John Cena, but I do love me some Alison Brie. John Cena is a lawyer who hates his life because he initially was a soldier, but all his unit got killed in a mission, and then he became a lawyer. And he hates it. Alison Brie is a journalist going down to meet the president of some third world country, and he's assigned to guard her. He does the guard job. He gets 20 grand. Seems like a low amount for the movie, but okay. Christian Slater is the guy who gives him the money. I guess playing a CIA guy again, like an Archer. Anyhow, there's an assassination attempt against the president. He saves her, but dumps the president, and then they have to survive. And he does a bunch of superhero-y things. I really just don't buy John Cena in this role. I don't know. I'm very prejudiced against him. I love me Alison Brie, though. Alison Brie is hot. Looks great in the movie. Juan Pablo Raba, I don't know. And they're trying to make it a comedy. John Cena, again, not very funny. I mean, funny-ish. He's done comedy before, I know. There's a D joke here. They're all naked for some reason. Alison Brie's smoking. Um, I mean, this guy on the left, I don't mind, but Alison Brie, I would see it for Alison Brie, but not John Cena. I can't stand him. Ever since he made that apology in Mandarin. Um, is it any good? Well, first act sets up John Cena and his life as a lawyer. He hates it because of what happened to his unit, I guess. And Christian Slater offers him this 20K. I guess that's going to change his life or whatever. So he decides to go and do it. Meets Alison Brie. I don't know, maybe he's divorced by this time, and Alison Brie, he falls in love with Alison Brie, maybe, but he ends up saving Alison Brie from everything. Or maybe he stays and I don't know. Maybe he stays there and runs the country with Juan Pablo Raba, who doesn't seem to be the bad guy, even though he kind of is. I don't know. It's meant to be a comedy. It's not really coming off as funny, but I would see it for Alison Brie's rack. I might see it for that. Let's see. We got a write-up? No. Did we have a write-up for the previous one? We did. No, we didn't. All right. So let's rank these movies. They are T.I.M, Dark Asset, The Re-Education of Molly Singer, and Freelance. I would have to put The Re-Education of Molly Singer on the top. It's the frattiest movie. I like fratty movies. I like comedy. This looks okay. It looks like the Jennifer Lawrence movie. I forget what it was called already, that I still kind of want to see. Only not as hardcore. They probably didn't spend as much money. It's a little light. Jamie Lee Presley's hot. The main girl's hot, although not that funny. But Nico's funny. I like him. He's funny, her friend. So I think this could work. Acceptance as a hero. Wait a minute. Is that what that said? Admission is easy. Okay. All right. And montage. 80s. Acceptance is hard. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're trying to get him in a frat, and the frat brothers pants him in front of everybody, and they get into some sort of drinking contest. Nico is kind of funny, so I guess this would be the top one for me, mainly because it's a comedy. Number 2 would probably be T.I.M. It looks okay, solid B movie, creepy android guy. It looks like it winds slowly into it. It doesn't look bad. I don't know. It's pretty generic, but I could tolerate it. The next one's a hard choice. Dark Asset or Freelance. Basically, they're the same movie, but one's a comedy, one's serious. I can't take this movie seriously. As much as it pains me, I'd have to take Freelance number 3. Only because of Alison Brie is just smoking, and I want to see the rest of this picture of her. It probably doesn't happen. Sadly, we probably don't get to see her total tatas, but if I had a gun to my head, I would pick this next. And Dark Assets, it just doesn't look great. It looks very B movie. It looks like the kind of movie I used to find free on Xfinity, along with 50 other movies I never heard of. I mean, the action looks okay. I mean, they'd all be pretty watchable for me. I mean, other than John Cena, tolerating John Cena, almost everything here is fairly watchable. Not great. I don't think any of these movies are great. Let me make that very clear. None of these movies are great in my view, but if I had to pick it, the Re-Education of Molly Singer, I would call it something else. Molly goes back to college or something like that. I mean, Back to School would be the obvious choice, but that's already taken. Molly Returns, something like that. You know, The Oldest Freshman. Anything like that, it could kind of work. Even though, college movies, it's very 80s, and that's mainly why I picked it. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. If you can find a more base take, I say take it. I'll be at the Pennsville Book Club on Thursday, and then the weekend is chock full of cons, the Antique Show on Saturday in Richland, and Nerdfest in Swedesboro. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you tomorrow.